dying seconds of that match. But, I mean, this Central Coast team, they always come to play, especially on home court, up and about, and with so many weapons at their disposal, you don't need one guy to get hot. You've got about 5 that can at any point in time, and with Luke Cassidy running it as the floor general, it's a very great team to watch as Manhoom wins a tip, and Central Coast end up with it. Cassidy finding Washington, who pops it up for Garrick Young. Nice finish to start the game.
Yeah, good start from the Crusaders. I think, Tom Akamamo has been in good form for the Crusaders, really leading the way at the defensive end of the floor.
They're underrated on defense, or probably properly rated on defense, Thomas Akamamo, but just the unselfishness of the Central Coast team. They know everyone can score, and they pass the ball around on offense accordingly as Luke Cassidy brings it in. Washington out to the top.
Interesting that the Crusaders have made some changes to their starting unit tonight.
And Garrick Young has his jumping shoes on tonight. 2 nice assists for him to start the game off. Just pop it in the air and let him finish it seems to be the game plan starting this game for Central Coast. Contested 3-pointer there for him.
I don't think it's a bad change to their starting lineup. Lino coming in obviously gives them a big presence in the centre, so I don't think it's a bad change from Coach Von Luders.
Turnover there for Central Coast, just pushing the pace a little bit too fast. But yeah, as you said, Leader Manhoom, if that man's under the basket, it does add an interior pressure that does make you want to play outside the perimeter a little bit more if you're this Penrith team.
Yeah, should be an interesting matchup between Perez and also Cassidy in the point guard positions tonight. Obviously, they've had a number of battles through their junior years, so they get reacquainted tonight. Should be an interesting matchup.
Cassidy feeding it into Garrick Young, trying to
travel.
get a heavily contested shot off, gets a travel called on him. Central Coast setting the defense up here. Drive in from Penrith, kick out to number 13 Schwarzer, can't get the basket to drop, and Manhoom taps it on to Garrick Young, who passes to Cassidy. Looking to push the pace here, Central Coast, and get Panthers on the back foot early on as Cassidy throws up a 3, can't seem to get it to drop, and Panthers turn up with the ball.
The Crusaders need to be aware of Brody Schwarzer. He can really fill it up, so he loves the corner 3. And the Crusaders really need to make sure they find him. They certainly don't want him to get hot.
Cassidy feeds it in. Washington gets a deflection, ends up with Cassidy. Cassidy just settling the floor again.
Crusaders a little bit erratic the last couple of times down the floor. Reset here with Washington.
Pulls up for a 3. Washington. Manhoom comes up with the rebound.
Panthers a little bit lackadaisical on the rebounding here. They're very, they didn't really find a box out there and just let the Crusaders come on with the ball. They need to be a little bit more focused at the defensive end.
Yeah, you already said it before, but this Central Coast team, I mean, coming out really fast-paced basketball, but sort of turning into a very erratic offense. They just need to sort of steady the ship here, and they are in front, 4 plays nothing, and there is baskets to be scored here if they just sort of take their time with it and let the offense play out as Cassidy pulls up for a nice little floater, gets it to drop.
I like to see Cassidy be aggressive, I thought last week, he actually got double-figure shots away against the Seagulls, which is probably the first time he's done that this season. He does have the ability to score the ball, so I think it's important for the Crusaders that he has that aggressive mindset. Hustle again. With it.
Yeah, Cassidy, he's such a good passer and, shot maker for other players that you do forget that he does have that scoring potential in him.
Yeah, I think as he came out of the junior ranks, in his top age under 18s, he was one of the leading scorers in the state and just had that real mindset. And even in youth league, he had that same mindset. But just at this next level, he's sort of really become that facilitator. And I think this team, whilst they need that, they also need him to be aggressive.
Penrith take it the other way. Kieran's with the ball. Penrith seem to be settling for a 3-point shot. There's
another turnover from the Crusaders. Been a really indifferent start from Penrith. I know they played Friday night, but they seem a little bit flat. They don't seem to be really up and about.
Yeah, definitely on the back foot, and Central Coast really taking advantage of those. Manhoon finishes it off under the basket, and the and one.
Yeah, there might be a timeout coming here for the Panthers. They've been really flat to start out this game.
4.5 minutes gone, and timeout called by Penrith. Double. But the three-point ball just eluding both teams early on as Lino Manhoon goes to the line. All good, makes it a 9-point ball game.
Crusaders in a half-court trap. Just a gamble there.
Good drive in there by Evans. Can't get it to drop. Rebound taken. Kicks it out to Kieran. Kieran gives it off to Perez. The feed inside. Passing the ball around. Good defense there by Washington getting up in the face of him. Cassidy takes it the other way. Kicks it out to Thomas Akamamoy, who feeds inside to Lino Manhoon, but not set. Now he's on baseline. Goes to work. Pull-up jump shot. Can't get it to drop, but goes to the line. Disruptive defense from the Panthers, but I mean, with a guy as tall as Lino Manhoon, there's only so much you can do without fouling. And I think if the Crusaders can just feed him early and get him to the stripe more, he shoots a good clip from there. So Crusaders will be very happy with the start of this game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What do you make, Will, of Clara Samir being on the bench? You know, I've heard that, you know, he has signed with a US college and is actually leaving the team within a couple of weeks. So maybe that's, you know, an adjustment that the Crusaders are making heading into the back half of the season. Yeah,
I mean, Amir, great player offensively, but if he can't seem to find his shot, he still does take him. And I think it's this offense, especially just looking at the field goal spread, I mean, 5 shots from the 2-point range, and they're shooting at 80%. So, I mean, maybe they're just going for more of an inside presence to start off this game, just to sort of keep this Panthers team honest. I'm not sure, but, I mean, we wish Clarence Samir all the best in his future endeavours, and we'll definitely see him later on in this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I reckon as it unfolds, you know, the scoring options more open up on the outside. He'll definitely be brought into the fore, and Panthers bring it in from the baseline here. 14 seconds on the shot clock, looking to try and get on the scoreboard with just under 5 minutes played. Kieran's dribble entry, kicks it out to Evans. Evans from 3, it's good.
A good penetration from Ben Kieran's there, finds Zeke Evans for the 3. Panthers open their account. Oh, risky pass from Akamamoy.
12 shots in total from Penrith, and 6 of them from 3-point range, 6 of them from 2-point range. I mean, you'd think to try and close this deficit as Paris does a nice little move, gets the finish and the end one.
Yeah, wow, that was a silky smooth move from Jonah Perez. Put the Crusaders defense on skates and was then able to have a classy finish, get the end one.
A little bit of inside-outside work, goes straight to the basket.
Speaking of Amir, he checks in for Akamamoy.
I mean, once he gets hot, he's definitely, you know, an outside threat, but his finishing at the rim is also good. And on the defensive end, he just gives you another long body that can just clog up lanes and get in space and close out on shooters.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that Coach Von Luders will want Claris to come in and do a similar job to what Akamamoy has provided at the start of this contest.
As Garrick Young takes his 4th rebound to the game, and Amir looking to get hot early. Young again ripping down a rebound. Now looking to go to work in the low post. Nice little pull-up baby hook. Good finish from Garrick Young there. And he's right back on the defensive end as well. And Panthers again settling for an outside shot pretty early on into the shot clock. I mean, their offense isn't really asking much of this Central Coast defense. Sort of step back is Washington hits a 3 to stretch this lead out even further.
I'm just not sure how the Panthers are going to keep up with the Crusaders, to be honest. The Crusaders look to have all the answers so far. And even when the Crusaders get the ball, they're looking to run it straight back at the Panthers. Numbers here again.
Yeah, with the run game on this and the transition offenses, Panthers steal it away. Kieran's in an open lane, finishes it off. Scores 15-7 Central Coast way, but Yeah, this Crusaders team looking to really push the tempo and take advantage of this Panthers team coming off the Friday night game, I guess.
Yeah, they definitely are. They're definitely playing with a lot more pace than the Panthers are right now.
As Amir gets it from three. Nothing but net. Clarence Amir with a three-pointer to open the account for him tonight.
And even when the Panthers are bringing the ball out the floor, it's really like it's a much slower pace than the Crusaders. The Crusaders are able to get numbers back. They're able to set their defense up.
Harris kicks it out to Kieran, and another deflection. Cassidy comes the other way, looking straight at the basket, and the nice finish. Takes the lead out to 13 for the Central Coast Crusaders.
Key moment here for the Panthers as well. They've already had one timeout, so 13-point lead already for the Crusaders, and another three-point shot for the Panthers.
Deep three from Schwarzer. Oh, and a big block from Clarence Amir, and takes it the other way. Gives it off to Washington, haphazardly, who dishes to Manhoom under the ring, finishes. Yeah, definitely, I guess Coach Von Luder's big takeaway is pace. Not letting up on this Panthers team and forcing the issue on offense. And Penrith yet again looking to play around the perimeter. No real inside threat. I mean, they do have on the floor at the moment Lolka, but it is hard to find a body to match Lino Manhoom, especially in that low post. Washington called for the foul there. I think with this lead that Central Coast has built for themselves, they've definitely opened up to bring in.
Yeah, the word is that there has been some rodent depositories come from the ceiling, which has halted play here for the moment. So whilst we clean that up.
And you do hate to see it, but it is winter, and those little guys do like coming inside to try and keep warm, especially when a basketball game is as hot as this between the Panthers and the Crusaders.
Well, the Crusaders definitely got the hot start at the moment, so maybe the Panthers are happy that the possum has actually slowed up proceedings and maybe helped cool down the Crusaders' start here.
Yeah, if you're the Central Coast, this is not one thing you'd have in your playbook for a timeout for possum droppings, but it's NBL1 East Mitsubishi Motors basketball. Anything can happen, and a minute and 48 seconds left in this first quarter. Penrith at the line with the guard, Paris, to take two shots. Everything seems to be A-OK on this end.
And, for me right now with the Panthers, Will, I think, a lot of the stuff is just revolving around Jonah Paris. He's been the guy who's tried to be aggressive. He's got to the basket a few times, a couple of three-point plays. As he takes a seat, the Panthers have now come out. They've adjusted. They've gone to a 2-2-1 trap here.
Yeah, 5 of the 10 Panthers points coming from Paris. So with their lead scorer on the bench, it'll be interesting to see what happens as Bailey has it at the side of the key.
Alex Bailey checks in for some early minutes.
Gives it to Amir. Amir likes the shot. It's good. He's definitely found his form early in this game, shooting 2 from 3 from beyond the arc today, Clarence Amir.
I think the Panthers got a real problem with that matchup with Clarence Amir. I'm not sure they got the right guy matched up on him, and Clarence is certainly taking advantage of that at the moment.
Yeah, Fa'amoe has definitely a big workload on his hands, because especially with a player like Amir, if you do start to play higher up on him and close out on him from beyond the arc, he's more than capable of putting the ball to the hardwood and just going straight to the basket as he feeds it into Manhoom, who gets the nice finish. And Central Coast just kicking it around on offense.
Yeah, 27 points in the quarter for the Crusaders is a lot. And if the Panthers are going to have any chance of winning this game, they've got to stem the flow of the defensive end.
Jongkuch kicks it out. Number 4, Evans, tries to get the basket, can't get it to drop. Out to Kieran's. Kieran's dribble entry, spin move, pull up, fade away. Gets the roll.
It goes.
Not a convincing basket, but a basket nonetheless. And I think Penrith will take any points they can at this point. Jongkuch just a little bit over-eager on defense, gives away a foul.
Yeah, I think there was an instruction there to foul. Zeke Evans has got a back or a hip injury here, so the Panthers were down on numbers at the defensive end, so that's why they committed that foul, just to slow the game up so they could get a substitution in.
And hopefully it's nothing serious for Evans, just a little stinger, a few minutes rest on the bench. Can't solve as Cassidy puts it up. Oh, sorry, Bailey puts it up for a man-whom alley-oop, but just can't seem to find it. 3 seconds left in the quarter. Jongkuch to feed it in. Kearns for a Hail Mary, just short of the mark.
Ball at only 26% in comparison to the Crusaders at 69%. You know, that really tells the tale of the tape for me. The Panthers will be looking to get the ball inside, a little bit more structure and settled in their offense.
And a travel call. Great defense there from Seth Chapman.
Yeah, Adam Luca there just shuffling his feet. Seth Chapman did a great job walling up. Good defense there, forced the travel.
The floor general, Luke Cassidy, brings the ball up the floor, but he's getting poked and harassed the whole way up. Garrett Young with a nice screen. Kicks it out to Clara Samir, and he's hot today, but just can't seem to get that one to drop. Deep three shot there, but I mean, when you're hot, you got to feed the hot hand.
Again, Chapman walling up. Luca this time gets the finish. And you can already see the Panthers have come out with a different mindset here in the second quarter. Some inside touches. You know, look a little bit more settled in what they're trying to do.
Casimir draws the foul. Yeah, I think for the Panthers, especially with Lino Manhoom on the bench, they'd be saying now's the time to strike, get a few more shots up inside, start to strike while the iron's hot and while we've got the chance inside. And also just as a confidence builder, you know, you start the game, you're shooting at 29%. You do want to just start scoring just to know that we can score and we can attack this defense.
Yeah, I think the first quarter, like, they were 1 of 10 from the three-point line. So, you know, again, they've made a focal point here at quarter time about trying to get the ball inside, and they've got, like, Luca's done a good job. He's got good positioning in, they've thrown it in there, and they've been able to get some good rewards so far at the start of the second quarter.
Yeah, good start to the second quarter. A less sheepish Penrith Panthers. They dropped the lead down to 13. Great defense here from Cassidy and Amir.
Good trapping. Alex Bailey's got to do a better job there of taking away that easy pass. Again, great seal.
Fouls on the floor, they'll be happy with that. But yeah, Luca just going to work here in the low post, and there it is. Substitution from Coach Van Horn, taking Seth Chapman out of the game and bringing Lino Manhoom back into the 5.
Yeah, I think the Crusaders coaching staff have realised they don't want Luca to get hot here and just chip away in this lead. So Lino comes back in. Yes. Not that Chapman was doing a bad job, but just a little bit more size, a little bit more length.
And a big block there from Garrett Young. Jumps out of the gym, swats that from the sky. 4 seconds left on the shot clock, though, for Penrith. I mean, that's just sort of the versatility of Young. Offensive threat, but on the defensive end, he can just go off a springboard and slap it out of the air like that. Yeah,
he's a great athlete, no doubt about that. Really good help defense there. But Perez making his way to the basket again. Constant threat for the Panthers.
4 seconds left. Quick shot.
We've got to get it up.
And again, that's just Walker just harassing Lino there. Thought he had an easy rebound, but just forcing the issue. Penrith with 14 seconds left. Handle gets away from Jongkuch. As Bailey keeps it in, feeds it into Amir, but 2 Panthers in the passing lane. 21 seconds left on the shot clock. Central Coast looking to score to sort of get some more stability to this offense as this reinvigorated Penrith team seem to be fighting their way back into this game tooth and nail.
A little bit erratic there from the Crusaders in transition. We should have done better, to be honest.
Manhoom sizes up Lorca, takes him down to the low post, spins, can't get it off the glass. And the joy he ends up with it.
I think Luke has done well for the Panthers since he's come in. He's been really effective at the defensive end, and he's been, giving them a real target and a low block as well.
Nice little step through there from Jongkuch. Kicks it out. Perez has it. Can't get the finish. Bailey ends up with it. He's got Amir running the floor. Cassidy feeds it into Garrett Young, and nice, easy finish at the rim.
Nice pass from Cassidy. Great vision.
Yeah, just holding it up, hitting it to him in stride. That takes Young to 8 points for the game, shooting at 67%. And also we're at the start of the second quarter, and he's already got 5 rebounds. Travel there called on Jongkuch.
Washington checks back in for Amir. Akamamwe for Bailey. Luka takes a spell for the Panthers. Jack McWilliams comes in.
Garrett Young tries to kiss it off the glass, can't get it, will go to the line for 2. Washington a bit quiet thus far in the game, 3 points, almost at the midpoint of the second quarter, but another one of those players that offensively, you give him a minute, he can give you 10 points pretty quickly off the rip if you get some nice transition play going.
Yeah, a very different Panthers team to the one that played against the Bruins on Friday night. I thought they did really well against a team, with guys like Jason Kidd and Jalen Galloway.
As Young sinks the second. Score now 32-16, Central Coast way. Majoy just looking for a free Panther to give the ball to as Jongkuch drives in with an acrobatic attempt. Can't get it to finish. Washington kicks it on to Cassidy. Cassidy goes to the lane himself. Draws the foul on Perez.
Nice take from Cassidy. Strong to the basket. Good contest from Perez.
Good battle between these two guards. Definitely different play styles. Perez a lot more score heavy, where Cassidy more of a floor general looking to feed other players, but both players keeping each other honest.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. The Panthers just don't seem to have much that's threatening the Crusaders right now at the offensive end. Very now that Luka's gone out of the game, the ball hasn't really gone back inside. Although McWilliams is trying to give him a target.
Errant pass finds nothing but a sponsorship sign on the baseline as Central Coast come up with it. Washington looking to inbound to Cassidy, and Perez looking to pick him up full court. And you can just see Lino Manhoom just probing, setting screens, looking to get open. Now he's going to work high in the key and just can't get it to drop off a spin. But definitely a threat on it with and without the ball in his hands, Lino Manhoom on the offense. As Perez goes himself, crosses it up, nice footwork, draws the foul.
Really looking for Perez to do a lot of creativity, like at the top of the key. Not sure how serious that injury is for Zeke Evans, but we haven't seen him since he went out of the game in the first quarter. He'll be a loss for the Panthers if he's unable to continue in their rotation.
As Garrett Young hits the bench and welcomed into the game Qual for the first time this evening. Free throw percentage for the Panthers at the moment, not great. 1 from 3, so scratch that. 1 from 4. Kearns feeds it into Amajoyu. Likes the shot, gets the shot. 34 plays 18. As Washington goes himself, feeds it off to Manhoom. Manhoom going to work against 3. Back to Washington. Washington gets the finish. Nice little unselfish play there from both Manhoom and Washington. Not afraid to give it to each other to finish the basket. Kearns gives it to Perez again. Perez with a nice inside feed, and McWilliams draws the foul. Smart from McWilliams there. Does the pump fake, gets Leno in the air, and then goes straight at him.
Yeah, he got the foul. Thought he had a chance to just go up there and throw that thing down. Sure, I think the Panthers are missing a couple of their key players too tonight. Some of their younger brigade from in their guard rotation, Charlton and Jet Hickson.
And Manhoom just getting in a bit of foul trouble there early. I think he's on 3 at the moment, so Seth Chapman works his way back into the floor. Nice work rate from Chapman. He doesn't play huge minutes on this team, but when he's on the floor, he definitely makes his presence known as Washington draws a foul.
Yeah, he's got a very good skill set, Seth Chapman. You know, he can, obviously size-wise, he can play in the 5, but, you know, he's probably a guard and a 5-man size body, to be fair.
Yeah. As someone who's been blocked by him many times at domestic, I can verify. Very good footwork, very good defensive player. As Akamamoy works baseline, accidentally double dribbles. Thought nobody noticed, thought he got away with it for 1 second, but these refs are on him like a bunny.
Yeah. Yeah, he got away with the travel, a double dribble. He had the whole kit there, Tommy Akamamoy.
And now looks to stuff Perez on the defensive end. As Cassidy picks up Perez, and Perez just sizes the floor up, gives it to Kearns, who likes to look at this 3, but
running again.
Great pass from Cassidy. Great finish from Washington. Big dunk to extend the lead. Timeout called Penrith. And offense like that from Central Coast with floor runners like Washington, Quol, and even Seth Chapman. I mean, if Cassidy has the ability to throw it to you anywhere on the court, you sort of want to keep Central Coast playing a half-court offensive game, not really opening the floor up like that and running your legs off all night.
And you would think too, the Crusaders would want to try and, you know, put the foot on the throttle here and just keep rolling this out, because, you know, they've obviously got a game tomorrow against Horns and Spiders, and they'll be keen to try and see if they can get back-to-back wins this weekend, you know, to try and stay in touch with the top group in the on the Mitsubishi Motors NBL1 ladder.
That's the thing. I mean, especially on a back-to-back, you do want to sort of put the cue in the pool rack a little bit earlier the night before, and also the confidence as well that comes with putting the game away early. As comes off Quol, Panthers end up with the ball again. Clara Samir coming back onto the court, gives Washington a break on the bench. I mean, Coach Miko just has so many weapons in his arsenal that it's not really a starting 5 for this Central Coast team. They can chop and change. There's no real, you know, A unit and B unit. There's just what players they need for what situations they're presented with. Yeah,
they have great versatility. I think, you know, part of their problem's been over the last few weeks that I'm not sure whether some of the players have accepted their roles fully, but, you know, if they can accept their roles and understand that, hey, we don't need players to come in and play 35 minutes. You know, we just need players to come in and play 20, 25, you know, do your job and play at a high level, and the team can be really effective in this league.
That is, I was talking to Coach Van Lueders before the game. He said one of his problems is he has so much talent on the team. It's 3 points scored there by number 13, Schwarzer. He said with so much talent on the team, it's hard to try and tell people we just need hustle over talent just for stretches of the game. You know, defensive hustle. As Amir pulls up for a 2-pointer, can't get it to drop. But, I mean, the talent is definitely there, but it is just that, you know, sharing the workload and just the rotations and just finding the fit as a team, especially at this very crucial midpoint of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, and the more the Crusaders can do that and understand that there's roles within this team, and you just got to come in and do your role.
Speaking of roles, we said he's a shooter. Clara Samir knocks down a 3 from the corner. He's definitely on fire. He's in good college form coming into this second quarter. As Thomas Akamamoy.
That's an offensive foul.
I would assume moving screen here.
It's That'd be an interesting call from the officials. Having a chat about it right now. I was just giving my biased opinion on that commentary.
And Thomas
fouls assessed on Akamamoy.
Yeah, we would like to say we are grateful for the officiating here at the stadium. We may not agree with it at all times, but we are thankful they're here. As I say, we might be a bit biased in our...
Yeah, I think I preempted that call for the referee. Went the other way. Probably had my coach's hat on, to be honest.
As McWilliams finds his way to the line, sinks the first. Brings their free throw scoring over the 50% mark to sit at 57. Hits 2 from 2, and Panthers slowly eating away at this lead, 41-25. As Akamamoy kicks it up to Amir. And Amir asking a lot of questions here on Campos. Kicks it off to Taylor. Luke Cassidy. Luke goes himself, kicks it out to Qual. Qual likes to look at that shot.
Rebounding foul assessed to Jack McWilliams. Pushing the back.
Lino looking to get some free baskets here at the free throw line.
Yeah, you sort of think like, the Panthers are sort of hanging around that 16-point mark, but they haven't really made any real inroads into the Crusaders' lead from the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, I think if you're Penrith with the start they had, I think you'd be happy with where the game is sitting coming into halftime. There is a lot to work with and a lot of changes to be made, but the fact that the deficit hasn't changed that much throughout this game. I mean, hot start from Central Coast, but Penrith still very much in this as Perez feeds it into Kearns. Just can't get the touch on that pass. Qual a little bit too eager there to start proceedings.
Yeah, I think if the Panthers could get this back to around about a 10 or a 12-point deficit at halftime, I think Coach Moore would be relatively happy with that. I think if it blows out to above 20, I think that, the game could be almost out of reach. But
Perez poking and probbing. Gives it to Campos on the three-point arc. It's good. Nice looking jumper there from Campos.
Well, it's right in rhythm. He caught that. That thing never looked like missing.
I mean, I guess that's what Perez does when he scores so much so early. He does open it up for his passing. He gets double coverage, kicks it out to an open Campos who, from what we've seen tonight, is quite a threat from beyond the arc. As Kieran's hits the deck, gives it Perez. Perez feeds it to McWilliams.
Coach Von Luders, he's seen enough. He needs to get Garrick Young back into this game.
Bailey also getting ready to sub back into this game.
I think it's Hayden Gunderson that's looking to sub back in, I think.
My apologies. I do have my contacts in tonight, and I'm very blind. So my apologies, Gunderson. When you're rewatching film, I apologize. And Lino Manhoon makes his way to the free throw line again as Qual hits the bench.
Good to see Gunderson check into this game. He's a hell of an athlete, great defender. Lack a little bit of confidence at the offensive end, but if he gets away on a fast break, he can be a human highlight reel.
And it is good to see him on the floor at the same time as Cassidy, sort of opened him up to that two-man spot, a little bit more proactive on the offensive end, as you said, to sort of get his confidence up. As Lino sinks it. Akamamoy and Manhoom hitting the bench. As Washington
matchups here, like Garrett Young obviously going into the 5 position up against McWilliams. Bit of a size differential here.
Size difference, but I don't think Young will give him any quarter, especially in the low post. Nice and physical defense. Campos gets it, likes to look at that three-pointer. Can't get it to roll. McWilliams knocks it out. Jongkuch, three-pointer is good.
Back to a 12-point game, so Crusaders need to finish out the half strong here.
Garrick Young goes in, kicks it back out to Cassidy, gets the reset. got McWilliams on an island here. Looks to go to work. Nice jump shot.
And that's good patience from Cassidy. He realised that, you know, Young was just going to have too quick a footwork for McWilliams.
Schwarzer can't get it to drop, but foul called here. I mean, in that previous play, I don't know what more you want McWilliams to do. Garrick Young with a reset dribble, face and basket. I don't know what else you can do. Oh, Crusaders go to the line.
Yeah, that was a foul on McWilliams. Pushing foul in the rebound contest. Young to the free throw line. Good opportunity for the Crusaders to push this back out again to 16. Ooh. Put the mock on him.
But he will definitely hit this second free throw. Please. See, there is no, I don't have a commentator's curse.
Rolled it in, rolled it around.
That's only one of us here.
Yep.
Gunderson and Cassie looks for the trap. Quarter gives it off to Jongkuch. Jongkuch looking for a shot here on the three. Gives it to Campos. Campos, shot clock running down at 5. Draws the foul.
Campos has come in. He's been really aggressive, looking to get his shot away. He's been giving him a little bit of a spark at the offensive end. You know, interesting for the Panthers. They don't have any player in double figures at the moment, whereas the Crusaders have 3. Amir with 11, Madden with 12, and Garrick Young with 12.
I mean, Campos averaging about 6 minutes a game. As this game goes on, he's already at 4.5, and he's already outdone his scoring by about 5 points.
Yeah, he's come in, he's been super aggressive, looking to get his shot up. It's been exactly what the Panthers needed, to be honest.
Demir looks for another 3. I think with Campos, I mean, with the start that the Panthers had, as Washington ends up with it, looks to run the floor, open lane, dunks on, bang! Washington puts it away. Yeah, with a player like Campos, I mean, not many minutes. He's getting a lot tonight, and especially with a game that the opposition in the Crusaders starting so hot, it does give him more license to sort of take the game on, have more shots. As Faris Amir gets the turnover.
That's a big stop. That's 8 seconds. Plenty of time for the Crusaders to get a high percentage shot away here. Coach Moore will be really disappointed with that.
That's it, 6 seconds left. Amir looks at it, likes it from 3. Can't get it to drop. 2 seconds left. Jongkuch to Campos. It's to be critical to both teams, and especially where they want to be going moving forward in the season. Central Coast wanting to sort of establish a winning run, especially coming into this doubleheader with tomorrow against Hornsby. As we have Washington to inbound the ball to Luke Cassidy. It's almost time to go here, so welcome back. If you're watching, don't go anywhere. We have one hot quarter of basketball coming your way. Cassidy to Akamamoy. Gives to Washington. Washington feeds it into Young. Nice little baby hook again. I mean, when Young gets it in semi-isolation on the low post like that, you pretty much know a basket's coming unless someone comes across to help.
Yeah, good play from the Crusaders. Zeke Evans is in the game, and they went straight at him that time. Looks a little bit ginger on that hip, but credit to Young. He's got good athleticism and good finishing around the hoop.
And Joey kicks it to Schwarzer. Can't get the finish. Washington comes back the other way. Pulls up for a 3-pointer. Just off the back iron, but Manhoom brings down the rebound. Feeds it back into Washington, who feeds it to Young. Young pump fake, doesn't get him to jump. Ball knocked away again. Good defense here from the Panthers to start the second half. I guess you could say, Evans definitely missed on the defensive end, but he's bringing back pressure in spades.
Yeah, he's looking a bit ginger, but credit to the young fella. He's grinding it out for his team.
Yeah, he's a big boy, and they breed him tough at the foot of the mountain in Penrith. So here he is with the ball outside the key, kicks it in. Again, the offense for Penrith to start this quarter just looks a little bit stagnant. I mean, not a great high percentage shot there, a fadeaway pull-up jumpers. Garrick Young jumps out of the building, slams it down for two.
And that's what you're talking about, that quick shot, off-balance shot from the Panthers, and the Crusaders just running it straight back at them, and that's creating all sorts of issues for the Panthers.
As Perez just loses the handle but retains possession.
Got lucky there.
And I guess it is that phrase, settling, that when they do settle for those shots, not creating shots, but just saying, shot clock's winding down, I have to go for this. Nice feed in as
nice.
Joey just feeds it through the rim. And that's a bit more of that inside pressure that I think Penrith are missing as Cassidy splits the defense, kicks it out to Akamamoy, feeds it into Manhoom. Manhoom to Washington. Washington looks to go himself, kicks it out to Akamamoy, can't grab it. 13 seconds left on the shot clock. That was an unexpected dunk on the Panthers' end, I think.
Yeah, he elevated quick and just threw that thing down. It was nice. And Washington replies for a nice triple of his own. This lead is now blown out to 20. The Panthers need to stem the bleeding.
Zeke has it, kicks it off to Kearns. Inside to Schwarzer. Yeah, just sort of stagnant on offense, but Schwarzer has a three that he likes. Off the front iron, Washington picks up the rebound, looks down the floor, looks to feed Cassidy. And Cassidy from three-point range, can't get it to drop. I mean, sort of a wasted possession there for Central Coast. They had the shot clock, they had time on their hands, and they had the lead. They could have, kicked it out as Schwarzer likes it from three. Bounces out. Manhoom grabs the rebound. Cassidy goes down. Foul called on Paris.
A late whistle there. Yeah, I think it was the right one, though.
You don't see it often, but it is good to see Luke Cassidy, head down, going downhill at the basket from a pass-first sort of point guard that he is.
Luka checks back into the game. I was impressed with his early minutes.
Yeah, definitely a dynamo when he was on. Made his presence known early, and again, a player that doesn't, more of a secondary big, but he's definitely understands the workload that he has to take on tonight with Zeke being a little bit under the weather after that knock.
Yeah.
And I guess the big thing for the Panthers here, especially with this offense, it seems very reactionary. They have to be more proactive and create shots. As number 9, Kearns, looks for a three. That.
I think they're they rely a lot on Ben Kearns, and he hasn't really got going at the offensive end tonight. Neither's Brody Schwarzer from three.
Speaking of three, Luke Cassidy drains it from the corner. But yeah, the offense does seem to sort of build around Perez breaking down the defense and then other players going off supplementary to that. But I think they need more in their arsenal if they want to slowly claw their way back into this game.
Oh, I think, they just displayed there, when they run the floor and Luka gets on the rim and gets a good seal, like they've got that inside presence, they can throw it inside and get some of that inside-outside action. But otherwise, it's very perimeter-orientated and very one-out at the moment for the Panthers. And it's pretty easy pickings at the moment defensively for the Crusaders.
But I think Crusaders would be more than happy, especially after the loss last week, to find some stability and also the selflessness on offense, especially in transition between plays, passing the ball around. No one really cares if they score. They just care if a Crusader scores.
Well, I think what will please Coach Von Luders is the shooting percentage of the Crusaders, which actually which highlights, that they're looking for great shots and they're not just settling for 4 shots, which is unfortunately has been their Achilles heel in some matches where they've really just been one-pass shots, and they've done a better job tonight of being able to find those higher percentage looks.
And it's especially games where they're chasing a lead. When they get within striking distance, they do try and take a cheap way out of just throwing up threes. I guess with them setting the tempo and being in control of this game, they do sort of have more control over what shots they take or how they run the offense, and it's showing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, and that's what I was saying before. I think the coaching staff will be really happy with the shot selections, and consequently, you know, they've been able to execute a lot better at the offensive end.
Seth Chapman hustles for a defensive rebound. Just more of that dirty work he does in and under, sort of the unrewarded sort of on the stat sheet, but great player to have on a team and definitely plays his role perfectly.
Yeah, good to see the Crusaders getting on the floor. You know, just shows that desperation, those like 1% effort areas that you need, you know, can be the difference between winning and losing games. So, you know, good to see the big fella getting on the floor.
And it's great to see when you've got such a big lead as well, just that hustle and desperation, even though you're out in front, not giving up any easy baskets, not giving up any easy points. And leaving a pretty sizable sweat mark for these young boys to wipe up off the floor.
Yep, shout out to the floor wipers. They do a great job each and every week. Some of our junior rep players coming in and being courtside.
Yeah, best seats in the house, but they do have to work for it. As Washington kicks it out to Chapman. Chapman to Cassidy. Cassidy likes to look at that three. Gets it to roll in. It's good from Luke Cassidy.
Yeah, we mentioned before, you know, the fact that Cassidy, like, just taking what's in front of him at the offensive end and being aggressive. I think it's really important for the Crusaders moving.
For that proactive offense I was talking about, you know, creating opportunities instead of waiting for opportunities and then eventually settling on opportunities. As Washington comes the other way, feeds it out to Clara Samir from three. It's good, nothing but net. And he is feeling himself right now.
He is. He's got a nice stroke on him from the three-point line. He's been able to get his feet set. And, you know, we've often said that about Clarice, you know, like in games where he just forces the issue, you know, like he really does take some poor shots. But, you know, when he gets his feet set, the ball moves through some hands. You know, he's got a great stroke and he knocks it down more often than not.
Goes again, just a bit heavy. In that previous play, Luca just doing some nice footwork and scoring a basket for Penrith. Looking to get the steal again. Spin, meets Amir in the air, gets the foul.
He does a great job, Luca. You've got to give him credit. He runs the lanes hard. He gets on the front of the rim. He presents a target every single time down the floor.
So given the job of, you know, the five-man, he's definitely taken it with both hands and really, really leaned into it. Score at the moment is 67-43 Crusaders way, and make that 44 to the Panthers. And I mean, Penrith rectifying their free throw woes and now shooting at 77% from the line. So all net positives moving forward for this Penrith team. As he gets the second on the roll in and timeout called. Oh, sorry, substitution on the shooter. Luca earns a very well-earned break on the bench. Subbing in is Fatui Fa'amoe. Steal there from Perez, who gives it off, gets it back, can't hold on to it. Garrick Young ends up with it, pushes the pace, gets trapped, can't get forces the pass out, and Washington settles the floor down. And I mean, 13 seconds on the shot clock, plenty of time to eventuate something. Cassidy kicks it to Washington. Washington likes the look of that, strokes it from three, just a little bit too short. As Fatui Fa'amoe ends up with the rebound. And here's the danger man again for Penrith. Perez gives it in to Amajoe, kicks it out to Campos. Campos gets his own rebound, feeds it into Fatui, and Fa'amoe with a nice little classy finish under the ring.
Good finish for Fa'amoe. The Crusaders just running straight back at you. Oh, Chapman misses a bunny underneath.
Nice feed in pass there from Gareth Young, but Chapman just can't finish. And Perez, you think, would be looking to get some sort of isolation or a ball screen and go to work himself. Pulls up. Can't get it dropped. Tries to tip it in. Can't get it. Fa'amoe with the rebound.
Oh, the Crusaders, come on. Got to come up with the ball.
And Campos forcing a jump ball. Sneaking up behind Luke Cassidy.
Miko Von Luders sees enough. He's bringing Lino back in to try and tidy up those balls. Yeah. Well, especially when, you know, Luca's got 8 points, McWilliams has got 6 points, you know, like they're
efficient when on. You think they'd be utilised a little bit more?
Yeah, especially to try and combat some of this length that the Crusaders have got, you know, like, and understandably, you know, probably like they would give up some athleticism, but definitely give them some more inside presence, that's for sure.
Fa'amoe from the elbow, can't get it to drop. And just, I don't know if the Crusaders have taken the tempo off, but there definitely has been a sort of vibe shift in their offense coming into the second half as Young gets it to drop from a baseline jumper.
Crusaders definitely get some nice rolls tonight off the home rims, that's for sure.
There's Amajoe from three. Gets the back iron, but Fa'amoe with the rebound, dishes it in to Schwarzer, who finishes it off. There's definitely a chance here, Penrith, and they know that, playing a much quicker pace on offense with a more direct approach as Cassidy kicks it to Amir, can't get it to drop. 20 points still the deficit, a minute to go in the third quarter. You think Penrith would be looking to slow it down to probably a 15 or a 17-point deficit. It's Fa'amoe with a nice little move, but gets the clamps put on him by
Gareth Young.
Gareth Young. Doesn't fall for it. Tipped by Schwarzer. Cassidy kicks it to Washington from three off the front iron. 59 seconds left to play in the third quarter as we get a bit of a break just to clean up some sweat on the court left by Gareth Young.
Yeah, it's a 20-point game, Will. You know, like it was 15 at halftime, and you know the Crusaders really haven't like stepped it up this quarter as much as I thought they might have. They've just sort of like kept it around that mark. The Panthers still trying to chip away, but unfortunately haven't been able to eat into that halftime deficit.
That's it. You don't want to, if you're Central Coast, you don't want to feed into that thinking it's a safe 20-point buffer. There's nothing more dangerous than what you think is a safe buffer, and then gets to 2 minutes to go in the game, and you're only up by 3, and the other team's got nothing but momentum behind them.
Yeah, and I think that's Lino's 4th foul, so Qual will check into the game now.
Yeah, cheap 4th foul to give away if you're Lino. I mean,
yeah, just reaching around.
Not much of a, like, outside of the 3-point line, but he earns a little bit of a break on. We probably won't see him until about halfway through the next quarter.
Yeah, not only that, you know, it's his 4th foul, so but you also send McWilliams to the free throw line. He's 5 of 5 from there, so.
Yeah, there's better options than fouling the hot hand. And I mean, 1 minute left in play. You're probably thinking Penrith want a nice stop here. Probably push the tempo, draw another foul, go to the line, and then get another stop and hopefully go again. But 69-51, this Panthers defense trying to hold out a surging Central Coast Crusaders as Bailey gets it.
Needs to get busy.
Feeds it into Garrick Young. Garrick gets the end one.
Nice assist from Alex Bailey. Sort of caught Garrick Young unawares for the moment, but was able to regather it and finish it.
Yeah, nice work from Young to grab it and go up and get it in. And now he's at the line for an and one and looking to push this to a 21-point deficit for these Penrith boys. And Young just not struggling, but having a little bit of a funk at the free throw line this game.
Yeah, being a bit up and down.
As Amir tries to get around that screen. McWilliams gives it to Schwarzer. Schwarzer just sizing up Washington. Kicks it into McWilliams, but Garrick Young. 10 seconds left in the quarter. Good defense there on the help side for
Schwarzer
Garrick
just
Young.
needed to grab that and just go up himself. McWilliams wasn't ready for it. Washington pushes, no.
Garrick Young. Contested three. Just off the mark. And that brings the third quarter by quarter, chew away at the lead. Quarter by quarter, get closer, but I feel it's just, when they watch this back, I think it'll be a lot of what we should have done and what we could have done. They say hindsight's 20/20, but especially early on, trying to shoot from outside so much. If they just took it inside and maybe even got some of those guys on earlier, you know, like in the absence of Luka, but coming into the fourth, Central Coast to start off with it, Washington to inbound. Bailey on the floor running the point with Amir, Qual, and Garrett Young. You think Central Coast is just going to put the hammer down and make this an early night for them?
Yeah, I think the Panthers ultimately, they'll look back at the start of this game and realise that that just wasn't the way they needed to start. You know, really put them on the back foot, and the Crusaders got some confidence and some momentum, and they've just carried that through. You know, good take from Bailey there. Nice little floater to start out the fourth quarter.
As McWilliams gets it, nice spin move to the basket. Yeah, just sort of a lack of, I don't know if hunger is the right word, but definitely a lack of effort's probably the wrong word either, but just intensity as Claris Amir hits a nice fadeaway jumper. But just when you're down like that, you think you'd just be pushing the tempo a bit more, trying to get the game back on your terms. They seem to, once the lead got away, this Panthers team seemed to be sort of complacent and just letting the game get away from them.
Yeah, it was almost like a level of, and I'm sure that Coach Moore wouldn't have allowed that, but it was almost a level of disrespect for the Crusaders. You know, didn't really respect them early on, and you know, the Crusaders just came out ready to play, and they made them pay.
As Washington gets a nice pass, Amir on the corner three, it's good, and yeah, I mean, a confidence player like him, I think this fourth quarter is really going to eat if they keep him open like that.
Well, he's just loving that spot, those corner threes. He's making his money area tonight.
Qual just got caught. Playing a little bit too aggressively on McWilliams in the low post.
Claris Amir is 5-11 from the three-point line tonight, so 19 points in 17 minutes. He's been very productive.
Yeah, definitely efficient, and probably about 6 dribbles and all that. Everything's been catch and release for him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to, you know, obviously the idea of playing Alex Bailey and some of those other guys is, you know, to hopefully cover for Claris when he does go to college. But, you know, obviously, like,
he's definitely shown tonight he's very irreplaceable.
Yeah, he's going to be missed for sure. Someone's going to have to step up and take that responsibility.
And not just on the offensive and defensively, he's got 1 steal, 1 block, all with just giving up 2 fouls. 18 minutes of play with 19 points. I mean, it's definitely a great night out for the young man.
Yeah, I think, you know, once he comes out of that lineup as well, you know, that's going to allow teams to then have more of a focus on, like, guys like Garrick Young and Elijah Washington. So, yeah, a little bit more pressure is going to come onto those guys. So you really need some of those young guys, you know, like, you know, Alex Bailey and Jamal Shoaib to actually step up and be able to be those scorers coming in off the bench as well.
That's it. As Garrick Young earns a trip to the bench just to I dare say it won't be the last you'll see of him tonight, but I mean, 25-point lead as McWilliams hits this free throw. You think you'd see, as the game progresses on, a lot more of the younger players of Central Coast start to come on and give these starters a rest coming into the doubleheader tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. And then, you know, like, that's a great opportunity for some of those guys. You know, like, some people might say that, you know, they're garbage minutes, but to me, there's never any garbage minutes. You know, like, you can come in and you can make an impression, and, you know, you got to show the coach that, hey, if you put me out there, I'm going to be ready to play.
Seth Chapman tries to take to the rim, met in the air, but fouled by McWilliams off a nice pass from Luke Cassidy. And that's more the Luke Cassidy we're used to seeing, a little drive, draw the defense, wrap around pass. But as you said, garbage minutes, I mean, especially when you're a young player, and say if you're only averaging 2 or 3 minutes a game, you've got to make those 2 or 3 minutes really count. And I think these young Crusaders boys definitely do when they hit the floor, and just to even give them a feel for, you know, Mitsubishi Motors NBL1 basketball, because it's definitely a step up from, you know, youth league that a lot of these guys play and the comps that they've played previously. So just to get that intensity of how fast-paced the game it is when they step on the court, I think every minute they spend on the floor is invaluable. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think it's, you know, great opportunity for those guys. They're just going to come in here and embrace it. And, you know, they've got nothing to lose. Their team's going to have a 20-point lead, so they're just going to come in and play with some confidence and, you know, do those little things well. Lock into the defensive end and take your opportunities when they come to the offensive end. So hopefully we can see that, and looking forward to seeing some of those guys check in a bit later.
But it's also, as you say, like, I mean, with Amir leaving to go to college, it is unpredictable in this league. You know, the time period it runs, things can happen like that. And as for Tui Fatmori, just lets that one go baseline. But you do have to be prepared for the unexpected. So keeping every tool in the toolbox sharp is definitely a positive.
Yeah, definitely. You know, like, I think that, you know, anything can happen. Guys get into foul trouble, guys get injured, you know, things can certainly happen. So you got to be ready. And, you know, I think that the more depth that you've got in your team, especially as you come towards the back end of the season, if you're lucky enough or you earn a spot in the playoffs, depth definitely becomes a factor.
Perez with a nice little give off to Fatui Fa'amoi, who finishes. Nice finishing at the rim.
Too much dribble there from Alex Bailey. He just needs to move the ball on, hold the ball for that much in the shot clock. You know, like, you really put your team under pressure.
Seth Chapman looks to hit the bench along with Bailey as Lino Manhoom and Thomas Akamamoy comes on for Claris Amir. Sorry, Bailey staying on the floor. 4 fouls for Lino Manhoom. Do you think it's just go as hard as you can until you get fouled at, just give what you can, or would you be trying to get him to restrict his sort of...
No, I think he's just got to come in, just play his game. If he fouls out, he fouls out. I mean, he's had a pretty productive game, apart from his foul trouble. He's 12 points, 10 rebounds, 19 minutes. I think he did a really good job. He really, like, got the boys settled at the start of this game, and I think he's been really effective. A couple of silly fouls, but apart from that, I think he's done a great job.
Akamamoy gets it. Manhoom goes down, slips over. Qual from 3, likes the look of it, likes the shot, gets it, it's good. Just a quick timeout here to clean up the sweat on the floor. Manhoom just copping a little knock to his elbow there. Probably best if he hits the bench, and subbing into the game for the first time is
Dylan T.
6.5 minutes left to go in this game. Central Coast looking to really increase the lead and end on a positive note. And this is the time to really put the pressure down. Young players like T coming in. I mean, he's been watching the game from the sideline the whole time, but now he's got a chance to make an impact on the game. As Fatui Fa'amoi comes down with the rebound, going to work in low post, kicks it out. Jongkuch from 3, it's good. Bailey looking to rebut. Can't get it to drop. And good play there from T coming around the back.
Good hustle. Oh, almost got taken out by his own player.
Looks to make it 2 from 2. Jongkuch, 2 in 2 minutes.
Here, so that, when you come to games that are on the line, they're not present.
And especially as the season, it's 4-6, 4 wins, 6 losses. You don't want to get those habits right now, and especially coming into the back end of the season, you really want to be solidifying what your team's about, how you play, your game style, and you just don't need little niggling things like that creeping into your game plan.
Yeah, and again, it comes back to, those guys as well, with the checking into the game, like the Dylan Tees and Solomon Qualls, those guys, you want to make sure that you're all in tune. You've been sitting down for a long time, but you've got to come in and you've got to be ready to play.
As Perez hustles for that rebound, gets the foul on Thomas Akamamoy.
Yeah, the Crusaders they had this lead out to a 25-point lead at one stage, so, now it's back to 19. They want to make sure they finish this game out strong.
And I guess it's sort of playing the game on your own terms. I mean, letting the Panthers sort of creep in just sort of shows they're sort of playing the Penrith's hand in terms of, maybe pumping the brakes because they are in front. But especially in games like this, you just need to dictate how you play the game on your own terms and keep executing on your own terms so you don't, drop from a 25-point lead to a 20-point lead to a 19 lead. I think at the end of the day, a 25-point victory is a lot more impressive on the score sheet and does more for team confidence than winning by 10ers.
And that's poor D from Dylan T there. That's, he's already hit 2 in a row, and then we just don't. Well, great take from Cassidy, but, you got to make him a driver. He's just hit 2 out of 2, and then we just allow him to pull up and shoot another 3. So, he's better this time. Again, he's got to stay connected.
More pressure there from T. Jongkuch just can't find the basket, but
bit of a heat check there, Will.
Yeah, definite heat check. I mean, and 3 out of the last 4 he's shot. I'd say it's a very warranted heat check.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you're on, you're on.
But you could see there, I know Dill actually got caught up going, or he was heading underneath that screen, then realised he had to fight over the top of it. And he did a good job in the end just to worry him out of that shot. But, a lesson there for Dylan T that, you can't relax at the defensive end of the floor.
That's it. I mean, it's good to see that the lesson landed pretty instantaneously. I mean, next possession up, straight in his hip pocket, forcing a heat check, as we said. Will we call it a heat check or just a bad shot? I'll call it a bad shot.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt with a heat check.
Washington feeds it in to Cassidy. 4 minutes, 45 seconds left to go in this game as Cassidy really pushing the tempo. Akamamoy pull-up jump shot. Rolls out. But, I mean, more of a license to sort of take those quick shots with this lead, but it's at the same time, you don't want to get into the habit of adding that to your offensive arsenal. As T's right out on it.
Very, very quick shot from Akamamoy.
As Fatui, oh, nice 3 from Fatui Fa'amoy. Dylan T goes to the ring, off the glass, but Garrett Young's there to clean up.
Rebound, you can pick up from Garrett Young.
And just the finishing on that, like T, going to the basket like that, do you feel like that's the big difference between like a Mitsubishi Motors NBL1 East game and a youth league game? Like you can get blocked from anywhere, from spaces that you wouldn't think you normally would in a youth league game, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I don't know, mate. After coaching being on the coaching staff with Youth League today and seeing how many missed shots and layups that we missed, I'm not sure, mate, whether there's too much difference, to be honest.
Alrighty, 3 minutes, 48 seconds.
But good for Dylan to take that, good strong take at the basket, and you're right, there's different levels of athleticism here, and, he'll learn from that, and hopefully, next time he might just, be able to make some variation to his shot and be able to finish that.
But as we spoke about in the women's game, I mean, it is good to see Dylan just sort of first instinct, just take it and go at it instead of balking at it for that half a second and letting the defense get set.
Yep. Absolutely.
Gets the deflection, comes back the other way. Penrith already set up in defense. Goes himself, finds a lane, can't get it to fall, but draws a foul. But I guess that comes from that whole, the mentality of these kids coming on for this Crusaders team. You know, when it's their time to go, it's their time to go, and they definitely go at it.
Yeah, I can see that the Crusaders coaching staff really trying to, you know, make sure that they hammer this home coming into the last 3 minutes. In fact, like, you know, you can see the steam starting to build up in Miko von Luder's. His face is almost becoming the same color as his shoes over there with his frustration levels.
It could be very hot in here. Yeah, don't adjust your screen if you're watching at home. That's the color of his face right now.
Just he wants to make sure his team finishes out this game, that's for sure.
As Washington gets the first one to drop. And during that break, Bailey and Gunderson coming on to close this one out, you'd think, for the Central Coast Crusaders. So, I mean, with T and Gunderson and Bailey on the floor, you know, a very young team to finish this like off. And as you said, some people call them garbage minutes, but they're definitely not.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for these guys, you know, like, how can they finish the game out? Can they make sure we get good shots? Can we get some lockdown at the defensive end of the floor?
Referee stoppage here just to clean up the floor. 3 minutes and change, and I mean, from a very biased perspective of a fan of the Central Coast Crusaders, it is nice to see them back in the win column and playing a lot more free-flowing sort of basketball where it's on their terms and they set the tempo, and I think it all stems from that start. I mean, it all just started rolling from there. That great start from Central Coast to blow out to that lead and keep Penrith at an arm's length at all points during this game.
Yeah, well, 5 guys in double figures definitely helps with the Crusaders, you know, like sharing that load. They're not relying on 1 or 2 guys to do all their scoring. I think they've been good shot from Dylan T.
And that's what we're talking about, just the confidence, you know, just catch and shoot from Dylan T.
I think the Crusaders have been solid at the defensive end without being spectacular. I don't think they've been overly challenged by the Panthers at different times.
Right, going to Bailey to Washington from 3, likes the feel of it, rolls out. But one of the stats that is sticking out to me is 12 turnovers for Central Coast. You do feel that, 13 to the Panthers. You do feel like a better form team, I should say, would probably punish them more for that, being so loose with the ball. But obviously, it's just the way that this game's played out. You know, 12 plays 13. But you feel like one of the takeaways moving forward would be ball security and sort of just protecting it more when they got it in their hands.
Yeah, I don't think the Panthers have really thrown a lot out the Crusaders defensively. So, you know, I think that Coach Von Luders would be probably a little bit disappointed with the way that they've handled the ball. But definitely something that, you know, against some of those more elite teams in the league, the teams that are in the top 2 or 3, you're going to have to, you know, you're really going to have to look after the ball and, you know, take good shots. I think the Crusaders have done a pretty good job of that tonight with their shot selections, although coming down the stretch, I think they've forced a few more than they would have liked. But overall, I think that, you know, Coach Von Luders, after their last 2 losses to both Albury and Manly, he'll be happy to be back in the winner's circle.
That's it. Winning fixes all problems as Amir gets it fed in. Drops in a nice little floater.
That's good. Good assist from Hayden Gunderson and good finish from Amir. Takes his tally to 21 for the night.
And with a minute and change left in this game, Dylan T comes down with the rebound, and Amir looking to keep his streak alive. Feeds it into Quoll. Gets it back, lights it from the 3-point range. Swish, nothing but net from Faris Amir. He is definitely enjoying himself. Brings his total up to 24 for the day. I mean, it's hard not to enjoy basketball watching that man shoot it from 3. As Quoll gets called for a defensive foul.
It's effortless with his stroke when he gets his feet set. He's really got a nice stroke on it. The rotation on the ball looks really, really good, and you know, he's found the bottom of the net on a consistent basis tonight.
But it's also nice to see, you know, him starting off that transition play, pushing it down and then repositioning, getting it back and sort of getting the reward for his own effort.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's got great build, like great athlete. You know, he's got the ability to be able to handle the ball, you know, get rebounds. So it's good to see Claris playing at both ends tonight.
That's it, especially on defense, like that jarring length he has, you know, just to fill up space, you know, get into a passing lane. Bailey kicks it to Claris Samir again, off the back iron, but T comes down with it, goes to the rim. Good finish from the young fella. And Central Coast really looking to end this game on a positive note and press the issue. As Jongkuch misses, Bailey comes out, crossover, goes the lane, loses the handle. So 17 seconds on the shot clock, 25 on the game clock. These young Central Coast players looking to score. Dylan T gets it, kicks out to Bailey, Bailey to Amir, Amir inside to Gunderson, Gunderson with the finish, a little bit too heavy-handed. As Campos brings it back the other way, 15 seconds left in the game. Jongkuch sizes up Amir, pulls up for a jump shot, gets it to drop.
Claris Amir, carry a hand, then just let that shot go.
3 seconds left. Bailey looking to just dribble it out, and that is all she wrote for the night in this Mitsubishi Motors NBL1 East match.